after you introduced me to them, I was like, you know what? I'll look up what reviews they had, and I know they had a review of Hereditary, and I watched it, and it said it was watched on their thing. Then let me watch it again and see what they thought. I was like, oh yeah, I remember this, and then I was like, oh yeah, no, they liked it.
Well, that's what I mean. It's always good.
Yeah. I'm looking at it. I don't really own anything. I think the rarest thing I own is a Norbit HD DVD copy.
The Norbit.
The HD DVD copy of Norbit is actually quite rare, apparently. But
well, to be fair, most HD DVDs are rare.
Yeah. That's the only copy of Norbit that I actually don't want to ever.
Well, I don't think you should throw it out because it.
Oh no, I'm planning to. I have all like 9 copies I have,
okay.
but like that's the only one that I genuinely am like, oh wait, no, I don't want to fuck with this one
Well,
because that is still wrapped and everything.
That one is kind of like a film history thing. You probably shouldn't.
Oh no! Not only is it because of that, but because I also realized, like, you know what? In the next couple of years, if the HD DVD suddenly becomes like a hot commodity, I got like $50 just laying there, and like it's nothing crazy. I'm not gonna be egregious like the VHS yuppies that Red Letter Media made a video about. But if someone really wants to take off an HD DVD copy of Norbit off my hands, well, I have one.
Fair enough.
But I also think it's a very funny thing to own that I actually don't want to sell it. I just find it very funny that I own an HD DVD copy of that film.
I mean, to be fair, that is a good. I mean,
it's a conversation piece, is what it is.
It's closer to a conversation piece than a lot of other movies.
Oh, yeah, the other movies that I own, like Paris, Texas, Punch Drunk Love, or what is this? Fucking Eraserhead.
I mean, you know. I think there's more likely of a chance that you bring over a girl and she's gonna want to talk about Norbit than fucking
Well, of course,
the Punch Drunk Love.
There's like 7 copies of Norbit all across my fucking room. Of course, she's gonna want to talk about it. She's gonna go, now why do you have so many copies of Norbit? I go, good story.
Good story. My friends just sent me copies of Norbit.
Are you familiar with the torture tactics from Abu Ghraib? Goes, yes, the one from the mid-2000s, of course, from the Bush administration. Ah, yes.
The Bush administration?
Well, you see, my friends decided to partake in a little bit of torture themselves. They would just consistently send me copies of Norbit, and they wouldn't tell me who sent it, and they would come at the exact same time every single week for almost two months. And then it stopped for a while, and then I kept getting copies in the mail. And then I broke down, and they finally told me. They were like, we all collectively pitched in to the Norbit to just keep sending you fucking copies of Norbit.
I mean, Norbit's good.
It's not good. Did I tell you that I brought a copy to my college?
What do you mean you brought a copy to your college of Norbit?
Oh, wonderful. I forgot to tell you the story. So,
okay. I just don't know what that means.
So like about a month or so ago, one day I was just like getting ready to go to games because I only have to go once a week, and that's for the editing class.
Okay.
But I was getting ready, and I was like, you know what would be really funny if I just left this in the film department.
No.
So I was like, you know what, fuck it. I took the DVD, and I was like, I brought it with me. It journeyed all the way with me across 3 boroughs to Brooklyn.
Wait, well, why did you take it with you to begin with?
I took it to just leave it. I left it there. So when I got there, I just took it out of my bag, and I left it at the. So we have like there's an entire building dedicated to the film department on Brooklyn College.
Okay.
And we have like a little atrium, like this little lounge. It's like this pretty big sort of lounge place. That most people like. It's kind of like the hub between like most of the rooms and all this shit, but it's also like where people just hang out in between the classes or whatever. And I just laid it on the table, and I just walked away. And someone happened to like see me dropping it. Like I recorded it and I put it on my story. Like I walked away, and about like 20 minutes later after class, 20 minutes later, I like went to go use the bathroom during class, and I saw that it was gone. I was like, who the fuck took Norbit that fast? And
who took it away from me?
Yeah, during class break, I like asked around. And someone went like, yo, someone left I just heard someone go, yo, someone left a fucking copy of Norbit on the table, and it's been like cracking me up. And I was like, yeah, that was me. And they went, what? And I go, yeah. And then I got to explain to a couple of people like the story of how it ended.
The story of Norbit.
And they were laughing laughing about it. They was like, that's funny. I was like, it wasn't, but it is now. And they were like, well, did you just leave? I was like, yeah, it's for anyone to take. I just orbited the film department. Whoever wants it can have it. And so it just lived there for a while. And now it's gone. Now I haven't seen it for a couple of weeks. I'm assuming someone has given it a new home.
You think someone was like, you know what?
Believe it or not, more people were telling me they actually really liked Norbit than I was expecting. They're like, oh yeah, I saw this kid. I love that movie. I was like, what is wrong?
Well, I mean, to be fair, we were like kids when that was like around.
Yeah, and we laughed. See, I don't want to watch it just because I can keep the joke in pristine condition, because I think it is funny that it's a movie from at least my childhood, but it's a now revered movie that's just not good.
But if I haven't seen Norbit, so it's kind of like.
Do you want a copy?
I don't want a copy. I think I gave you a copy. I think I bought one for you.
I got it. Trust me, I got plenty. What's funny is that there are 2 other copies of Norbit that aren't a part of my current collection because I threw them out when I was the week that we were booted. You remember that marvelous last week?
Yes, I do know the marvelous week of Fredonia when they kind of just were like, yeah, COVID's here, you're not.
Essentially that. It was when I was packing my room. I was like, okay, well, here's a copy of Brokeback Mountain. I don't need this. So I just kind of left it out in the in the suite, like little lounge. I was like, I left it out there. And I looked at, I had 2 copies of Norbit. And I was like, I'm just going to throw one away because I don't really see why anyone would want one. But I'll keep another one just for ha-has. Just for the memories.
For the memories. I mean,
yeah, I think I had that in a copy of Porky's. I don't know where the copy of Porky's went. Either it's somewhere in the.
You were really into Porky's for some reason.
I wasn't into it. I just had it.
No. Ron, there was a moment when you were like, "Oh, Porky's is so good," and I just went,
no.
"Is it?"
No, I only knew it because of the name, but I knew that the director of it did that right before he did fucking Black Christmas. So the only reason why I kept it around is because I found it so funny to me. This is a film I haven't seen, but I only know that it's this very weird, goofy sex comedy of the 70s. And
well,
it's Scott went to go do Black Christmas, one of the 2 seminal slasher films.
It's weird because I think about it a little bit more how would I word it? I know you said goofy sex comedy, but it's more like there's a lot more sexual content in that than something like
American.
Yeah, even American Pie, I would say. It's a lot. I think it's a lot more raunchy than something like American Pie or what's the other big one that we would have talked about, or Animal House.
Animal.
I think it's raunchier than Animal House.
Yeah, that was a fun night of watching Animal House. I think, was it that one of us, that you had it on, or I talked about putting it on and we just did.
Oh, did we? I thought we watched the Futile and Stupid Gesture, and then we watched.
We did, actually, that might have been what it was. We watched the Stupid and Futile Gesture, and then we watched the Gesture movie, and then we watched something else, because there were 2 things about the Mad TV people.
Well, not the Mad TV people.
Not Mad TV,
the National Lampoon people.
National Lampoon people. We watched 2 things about them, and then we were later. I think it was later in that week. We were like, all right, let's watch Animal House, and we'd both seen it before, but we both watched it, and then we watched. Then you were like, oh, have you not seen Caddyshack? I was like, I haven't. And you put it on. I was like, eh.
I think that deserves a second viewing by you. I think that's.
I've seen it a second time.
Do you still not like it?
No, I like it. By the time I rewatched, I'll tell you exactly when I rewatched it. But by the time I rewatched it, a bit more world weary. I was like, oh, Rodney Dangerfield, hell yeah.
Okay, because I was gonna say, I remember you liking Rodney in the first one.
I love Rodney. I watched it. Yeah, I watched it last summer. I watched it June 16th of 2022. I can tell you my review. I saw this for the first time in my freshman year of college with my then roommate, but it just landed kind of for me for some reason. I enjoyed and appreciated some of the humor.
You're just reading me your Letterboxd review of Caddyshack.
Yeah, why do I need to come up with new words for you? Pass, Ron.
I love that you have a review on Letterboxd, and you're just like, this is my review. Here it is, Ben.
I'm not gonna reestablish.
You're not gonna write me a new one.
Yeah. I'm not gonna write you a new one. I'll just use this old one. Just copy and paste. It doesn't seem effective. Gave it like a 3.5. I was like, yeah, no, it's so funny. Rodney Dangerfield's the best part. It's just like when I think of it, I go, pretty good comedy, really solid. I own it. Actually, no, I'm lying. I don't own it.
You own it? I was like, I didn't know you owned it.
Because I looked at Animal House and I was like, oh yeah, I own it. And I was like, wait a minute, no, I don't. And I was like, oh, that's The Jerk. And I was like, I don't know that.
Well, The Jerk is good. I mean,
Oh, The Jerk is so fucking good.
Jerk is very good.
The
Carl
Jerk,
Reiner directed it.
The Jerk shot up very quickly into my all-time favorite comedy.
I mean, was that... Steve Martin did something before The Jerk, correct? Or was that really his first acting type
It
thing?
might have, because I know Three Amigos comes out after that.
But that also had, like, Chevy Chase and...
Yeah.
Martin Short.
Oh shit, is this not even on my list? What the hell? I thought I had The Jerk here. I don't.
Oh, you don't have The Jerk. Then what do you have? What are you confusing The Jerk with?
No, I have The Jerk. I earned The Jerk. I own The Jerk. I'm just saying, like, it's not even on my list. I was like, wait a minute, I swore I put it here. It isn't.
A list of what?
I was like, I have a list of, like, my favorite comedies of all time.
Well, it sounds like The Jerk needs to be added.
I'm adding it as we speak. I'm putting it, 5th. Not 5th. Maybe not 5th.
Well, I don't know what's on your list, so it's hard for me to rate. It's hard for me to rate all the best comedies. There's a lot of good comedies.
You want to hear the list? Only
Sure.
rate it to you.
Well, here's the thing. Like, do they have to be straight up a comedy? Like, they can't be like mixed genres, or like, how does this list work?
Well, I mean, I have the Jackass number 2 on, like, it's like top 20.
But that's like a completely different movie. Then like that's like I know it's like comedy, but it's also like almost not at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I almost consider the Jackass movie their own breed.
They're their own animal, but I think by comedy, like, it's just a film that, like, is ostensibly to make people laugh, and it is very funny. The number I have it up to is like 25, so like
Okay.
I have 27 here, so maybe there's 2 that I just haven't been able to. But the ones here are the top 10 is probably very solid to do that. There's room for improvement, especially when you hear what number 10 is. But
especially when I hear what number 10 is, like what?
So
is this like a top 10 list, or what is this?
This is just there's 27 here, but like the first 10 are probably solidly what I would consider.
Well,
the
I
top.
understand Blazing Saddles is probably top 5.
Where do you guess it's at? What number do you think it's at?
At least 2 or 3.
You're very close, actually.
Because the thing is, I think Airplane's number 1.
You're right, on the money.
Well, I know you like Airplane a lot. The thing is, I'm curious where Top Secret is, or if it even is on the list.
It's on the list.
I mean, to be fair, I like Top Secret a bit more than Airplane.
It's certainly on the list because I remember watching it and I remember howling and going, man, how are like a collective of people this consistently funny over 3 different like movies that anyone could say like, oh no, this is my favorite comedy of all time, and they'd be like, no, yeah, you're right.
Well, I was about to say, because even Airplane 2 is pretty good. Like
Airplane is solid. I saw it last summer, I think, for the first time.
Like, that's a good movie. I mean, it's not... I don't think it's as good as the first, but I don't think it's like a bad movie. That's the thing.
No, it's very good.
It's one of the few sequels that I'm like, oh, that's pretty good. I don't know.
But Top Secret is very good. One of my favorite jokes ever told in a movie is it's when they're like the spies are meeting, or at least the first meeting of the spies, and it's like, do you know any good white basketball players? And he goes, my friend, there are no good white basketball players. And I remember I watched it. I literally had to pause it for 5 minutes because I could not stop laughing and like holding my stomach, just going, "That's such a stupidly fucking good joke." I was like, "Yeah, this is a good movie." But all right, so you were right on the money with the first one.
Okay.
And you were right with Blazing Saddles being the number 3rd spot. Okay. Now, what do you do? What just see to gauge how well you know. What do you think is number 2?
Well, that's the thing. That's where I'm kind of like, I mean, is Blazing Saddles number 2?
No, Blazing Saddles is 3.
Okay. I mean, what else do you talk about? That's a good question.
So much. So much and so little.
Comedy movie. Can I ask you a few questions?
Absolutely.
Is this from like your childhood?
No.
Did the movie did you watch it as a child / did it come out?
No. I would have. It's something I discovered in high school.
In high school, wow. Because I was curious if Annie Hall is also on the list.
Annie Hall is on the list.
But I didn't know if you'd consider that
It's enough of a comedy for me to be considered a comedy.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because I consider it a comedy, and I consider it very, very good.
It is. The thing is, it is a comedy. It's a great comedy, but I think it's on the list, but it's not in the 10 just because I'm like, you know what? There are other films that are more ostensibly comedy than Annie Hall is, and it's funny because I've been meaning to rewatch that now that we're talking about it.
Well, you're meaning to rewatch a lot of movies.
I know. I'm making up all these lists just because I know it's the summer and I'll have all the opportunity to just throw on.
Okay, so
I have definitely seen it when we lived together, and I talked to you about it when I rewatched it when we lived together.
Is it like a teenage boner comedy?
No.
How sophisticated is this movie?
Pretty.
Pretty? Is it Young Frankenstein?
You're in the right decade.
Decade?
You're not close to it. You're in the right time period. You're in the right time period, but you're not.
I mean, you got Robin Hood Men in Tights, but that's not the right decade. There's also Spaceballs, which is fun. But I don't think you're a Spaceballs fan. Well, that's because I don't think you would watch Gene Wilder. That's kind of why I'm like.
I like Gene Wilder,
but I mean the other one, the director Mel Brooks. I'm not saying you don't watch him now. I'm saying in high school.
No, yeah.
I didn't think you were introduced to him in high school.
No, now me, I would have.
Now you would have. You're kind of like, oh, I'm gonna watch them all because they're all pretty good.
I just saw History of the World Part 1 a couple of months
back.
Oh,
how did you like Part 1?
I love fucking that. I love that.
Is it on the list now?
It should be on the list now that I'm thinking about it.
That one is really good. I know Part 2 is out, but I can't bring myself to watch it.
Yeah, now that you're talking, I completely forgot about History of the World Part 1, but it is absolutely on the list.
That one's really good. Oh my
That one's very fun.
So it came out the same decade, like 80s.
No, not the same decade. I misspoke. It's the same time period, but not the same decade. It's not 80s.
So like 70s then.
Yes.
God, what other 70s comedy am I like over glorifying of like what Ron could have seen? Or
once you know it, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, that one.
Yeah, that's kind of one of those things where it's like, does it have an SNL cast in it?
No, actually no.
No, huh? It'd be really funny if it was Blues Brothers. You're really into Blues Brothers.
Hold on. Let me pull out the Blu-ray. No, yeah, I'm making sure. No.
God, what other comedies from that era exist?
I feel like any clue I give you would be a dead ringer.
Well, that's the thing. At this point, like, I almost should just know. I mean, well, it's not Pink Panther, even though we discussed it.
I'm trying to see, because even if I gave you where it came from, you'll be like, oh, that. You'll get it right away.
Where it came from? What do you mean where it came from? Like where it was made?
Perhaps.
So is it made in the United States?
No.
Oh, Monty Python.
Yeah, hey.
I don't know why. I don't know why that's the one I kind of blanked out on. Yeah, wait. But is it Holy Grail or are you doing Life of Brian?
No, Holy Grail.
Okay, I mean, I just know you're a big Life of Brian fan. I know some people like that more.
No, I'm more Holy Grail, but I love and respect Life of Brian.
Because I think, because my only reason why I might like Life of Brian more is that I think it's more of a complete movie.
it is a more standard movie than Life
Well,
of.
I wouldn't really say standard. It's just complete. Just because, I mean, the Holy Grail ended just because they lost money, and they didn't know how to end it.
It's more structured. That's what I should say.
Yeah, but I mean, a looser storyline is always fun.
Yeah, but it's still one of those I saw for the first time in high school. I was like, oh my god, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen.
I mean, it is a funny movie.
It is very funny. But you got the first three. So it's Airplane, Holy Grail, Blazing Saddles, Forest Clerks. It technically should be lower on the list, but it's also it's weird thinking in my head of like.
Well, you like Clerks a lot. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to think what else would be like. Like, is there any other Kevin Smith stuff that you would have on that list?
Believe it or not, no. It's the only Kevin Smith movie on the list.
Because the thing is, they're all kind of comedies, but they're not kind of like I don't imagine all of them as like laugh out loud comedies, you know.
They're not exactly. That's and Clerks only because I'm like it is a good comedy. It is one of my favorite movies. Like, I'm like it's weird. Like I would regard it as my favorite film.
Yeah.
And it's comedy, but it's not on the list. I was like, yeah, this is the.
I would think of you differently if you put Dogma on that list.
Oh no, trust me.
You're like, yeah, Dogma, my favorite comedy movie.
Now five is a much more recent one. Very recent, but it's.
What is it?
Superbad.
Oh, Superbad. I mean that's kind of a classic, like, of the 2000s.
It's almost a classic. I still think it's so fucking funny.
I mean, I think it's really good. I mean, it's very much like, what if teenagers actually wrote the movie kind of thing.
Absolutely.
It feels very much like that. Because, like, I don't know, I think it kind of kickstarted, like, Seth Rogen's career, kind of.
Well, I mean, Rogen...
I know Rogen wasn't in it, but he, like, assisted a lot on it.
No, Rogen's in it, but, like, have you seen... How long has it been since you watched it?
It's been, like, 15 years. Like, I saw it, like, on Comedy Central, like, a long time ago.
Oh, dude, nah, man. You gotta give it a rewatch. Nah, but it's funny, because Rogen... I think it gave, like, Rogen, like, a second win, especially more so behind the scenes, like, more creatively,
because that's the big deal, because I know Seth Rogen, like, that's, like, I would consider that the movie that made him, along with Pineapple Express.
Yeah.
Those are the two movies that made him.
But, because I know, like, him and Freaks and Geeks and 40-year-old version and all that stuff. And,
well, Freaks and Geek is good, but to be fair, I don't really think Freaks, like, I think Freaks and Geeks is, like, a cult thing. Like, to be fair, I don't think, like, anyone who talks about it loves it, but I don't think there's as many people talking about it as I like to think there is.
What's the college equivalent? I know there's, like, a college follow-up to it. Like, Undeclared, I think it was?
Oh, I don't know anything about that.
It was, like, a college sort of follow-up to it. Not like a direct sequel, but it was, like, I think made by the same people or something like that.
That's interesting, though. I mean...
Yeah, it was pretty... I saw a couple episodes as a kid. It was pretty funny.
I'm sure it is. I mean, the original was, like, good. Like, Freaks and Geeks on its own is already a good movie.
For a show, yeah. But yeah, number 5 is Superbad. Number 6, only 1 year after, Tropic Thunder. Fucking
that's
hilarious.
really good.
I felt every time.
I think it's like your only like meta one so far.
It is. I think it's the only quote. No, actually, no, I'm lying. Number 9 is very meta, but it's the only one that it's one of the only ones that I think I haven't watched the most of the other ones, but it's only because I realized that like everything in it is just so funny and so rich that it's just worth thinking about it. It does it enough. After Tropic Thunder, is Life of Brian.
Yeah, I mean, that's really good.
Yeah, I was like, you know what, it's worthy enough of being on both of them. I couldn't. It wouldn't be fair to just count them as a 2 for 1. They both deserve their own spots because both of them are equally deserving. Number 8, Naked Gun 2.
You don't like the first one a bit more?
I do. I kind of want to count all 3 as one pick.
Yeah, because like, I don't know, Well, the
But
third one's a
but
little varying, but I think the first two are always.
the first two are very solid. I think three just has very good lines as opposed to just flat out sequences. But two I think is the one I think back to the most, and it's the one I've seen the most out of all of them because there's just so many good jokes in it that I think back. So many of my favorite jokes are in two, even though one has like a couple like other ones of my favorite.
Well,
like,
one is like the one that sets up the formula, whereas two is kind of the one that can like subvert and like catch up with. I don't know. It's hard to really explain because it's like it's just its own thing almost.
Yeah, but the two it says two, but if I said like all three as one, I'd also just say all three as one, or at least the first two.
Mm-hmm.
9. This is the end. Oh man.
That's an interesting one to have. So how?
Really?
I mean, I don't know. I guess it's been a while since I've seen it because I do own it. I just don't think it's. I don't know. I just think it's okay.
I have it high up only because I saw it once like New Year's like when I was like 15. I was like for the first time I was like, oh my god, this is funny. It was good. But it was one of those like 2000 Seth Rogen comedies. Like, all right, or 2010s like Seth Rogen comedies. Like, this is pretty good. And I saw it again like 2 years ago in December, and I think I was kind of stoned when I watched it. But I had laughed. I've never laughed so hard in such a long time when I watched it. And then I watched it like a couple of months later. I was like, let me just make sure sober me recognized that I was right. And I was like, oh no, yeah, I'm right. This movie still fucking owns.
Yeah.
And it was incredibly funny.
Yeah, no, because I remember it being good when I watched it, but I also watched it in like high school, so I was kind of like, I don't know if I could have gotten everything out of it. The only thing now is that I think watching it would feel weird because of James Franco.
Oh no, yeah, that's the same reason why Pineapple Express and all these other ones are kind of hard to watch. It's like, oh man, this Muppet over here, what an absolute tool bag.
Well, the thing is, I just know he's a tool, but I don't really know what he did fully, other than he's kind of like essayed people.
Yeah, it makes a mixture of essay and just general being like an absolute terrible person, sort of.
Yeah, because the thing is, I'm sure he didn't do anything to Seth Rogen himself, but.
No, but it was bad enough for Rogen to be like, I'm never working with him again. Like, absolutely not.
Yeah. At least for now, he will. I mean, I don't want to say never for him, just because, like, I don't know, 20 years from now, he's probably could be a different person. He might change his mind.
Maybe. Time will only tell.
Yeah. I mean, it's up to him. I mean, either way.
Number 10 isn't really number 10, but if it wasn't but I'd be lying if I said it isn't technically in my top 10, at least in my heart. It's White Chicks.
Oh, well, I mean that's just a round pick. I don't know what else to really say.
It's there. It's not really in the top. The actual top 10 would be Wayne's World.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, would Wayne's World be on this? Because I don't know, we just love that movie.
I love that movie.
I actually really like Wayne's World too. I don't know.
I've still yet to see Wayne's World too. I gotta watch it.
When you come out, we gotta watch it.
We got it. Because I remember we talked. I remember when we lived together, we talked about it, and then like, either the same day or within the same week, we were just like, yeah, fuck it, let's just throw it on. And then we were just like, I will not bow down to any sponsor. It's like people only do things because they get paid for it.
It's so good.
It's so fucking good. And I think we watched it early on in our living together. That it was a running gag for us where I just turn and you go, it's okay, I don't mind, I don't care, I don't mind.
I can't read.
I never learned to read.
That was just your favorite catchphrase for life.
It was, because it's such a stupid fucking punchline. Because I never learned how to read.
Well, then it goes like Oscar moment at the bottom.
Luckily, we watched that early on into our living together, to where it became like a formidable.
Meme.
Yeah. Much like the Jimmy Neutron intro.
I mean, I'm still a fan of the Jimmy Neutron.
As am I. So technically, Wayne's World would be 10, but White Chicks is there, and yeah. After that, Dazed and Confused. It's not overtly a comedy, but I would consider it as such.
Which one?
A Dazed and Confused.
Oh. I mean,
It's kind of higher on the list than now that I'm thinking about it, but it's not really a comedy. It's ostensibly more a hangout movie. It's like not definably anything.
Yeah, I actually have a different question for you now.
Yes.
I'm a little surprised this isn't. I mean, sure, it's on the list, but I'm sure it's not. I'm a little surprised it isn't higher. What about Hot Wet American Summer?
Oh man, did I not put this on the list? Oh shit, I didn't put it on the list.
Because that's like, I mean, that would be in my top 10.
I forgot.
That's a personal, but that's just a personal favorite of mine. I just knew how much you liked it too.
Yeah, because you put it, and I was just like, oh, there's no fucking way this is like. The more we watched it, was just more. I was just like, there's no way this is a thing.
Yeah, because How Would American Summer is like, I think that's my favorite Jeb Apatow. Like flick. Like I can't think of one that's like better. Because like Role Models is good, and like he did Futile and Stupid Gesture, which is like a good movie. It's just that I
wouldn't rank it that high.
It's not as good as Hot Wet American Summer. Like,
and I think what Hot American Summer has going for is just it. Like, not only is it talented enough, and damn, now that I'm thinking about it, it's so fucking.
Well, it's well, it's almost like the birth of like
Everyone's
all of the best comedic talent.
Yeah.
Of that time, because everyone in that cast turned into like a big deal in one way or another.
David Wayne.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're all on comedy still. Like.
Yeah.
I don't think really much of them branched out, but I'm not too sure.
You're forgetting one perfect David Wayne movie, which I actually probably should be on this list. I don't, because if it is, it probably isn't on my greatest or favorite comedies, but it's very high up there in movies that I love. It's an honorable mention at least. They came together. The movie I came.
I know you really liked that one.
It's because I threw it on.
Which is fine to like. I mean, it's a good movie. I mean, it's like I wouldn't consider it bad by any means.
I just threw it on tonight. I was just like, I've never heard of this before, and it wasn't only until after I found all these things. I was like, oh my god. But I just put it on because I saw Paul Rudd and Amy.
Well, you saw Paul Rudd and then like her in it, and I'm like, it's just. Well, because I kind of saw clips of it before you told me it's from this movie.
The thing is, I'd seen a clip from it, and I was like, oh, this movie, because I'd taken like a comedy class in 2020 when I first transferred to Brooklyn College, and he played like a clip or two from this movie, but I didn't know what fucking movie it was from. I just knew it was like this funny movie that Paul Rudd was in. And then, like, I put it on, I was like, oh, wait a minute, it might be this movie. And all these funny things happened. I was like, oh my god, this, like, I was like, how have I gotten this far without having seen this movie before? And how is it that no one else talks about this movie? Because I'm sure, like, if more people had seen it, they would love it. It's so fucking stupid. It feels like the spiritual successor to Wet Hot American Summer.
Oh, yeah. Like, I mean, that's my best way of saying it, because it's kind of like... Because, like, here's the thing, it's, like, the only thing that I wish there was more of in that movie, I wish the cast was a little bit bigger. Like I think those types of movies work better when it's, like, it's an ensemble piece, almost.
It is an ensemble. They got a bunch of,
I know there's, like, a bunch of them, but I'm kind of, like, it feels like the story isn't focused on, like, one aspect that they're all a part of, you know?
Yeah, I just know that I remember seeing it and then going, oh, I'm gonna show this to fucking Ben and then when I go up there, and then I put it on for you, like, and I just remember still dying as much as I died the first time watching it. I was like, oh no, yeah, this is fucking great. Because I remember you kept looking at me during that. You can say that again. Well, you came in here, I asked you a thing, and it was like, oh yeah, tell me about it. I remember you laughing the first couple of times, and then it played for a minute straight, and then you turned to me and went, Ron, what's happening? And I want you to just let it happen.
Like, Ron, where is this going?
I'm thinking about that movie again.
pretty good if you still think about it and it makes you laugh. That's a good sign, you know.
I was thinking of that, and then I started thinking about the scene where I was thinking about the scene where Paul Rudd explains to Bill Hader how he had sex with his ex, and it's just this very graphic, like super over the top thing of all these different sex positions and things, and Bill Hader just looking at Paul Rudd, just like don't watch, like what? Oh my god, yeah, you know what? Fuck it, I might watch that tonight. What am I talking about? Oh, it's on
you keep saying this, but I feel like you're just gonna keep watching.
No, well, I have the Batman queued up. I have it ready, rearing to go. But I might genuinely watch They Came Together tonight because I now it's in my head and it's so fucking stupid. But yeah, what had American is on the list?
I was gonna say because like that's like to me it's the classic.
Higher.
Huh?
I might put it up higher than. Where would I
don't know where you're gonna put it on that list though. It's one of those weird. I'm gonna call it subjective. It's more.
I might move down Dazed and Confused, or maybe remove it altogether.
Oh, out of the top 10, I guess. Like I feel like compared to Hot One American Summer, you know.
It's at 12. Honestly, I'll move it at the bottom because I don't know. Maybe it's not a comedy at all. I just don't know. But considered a comedy, it is on the list certainly. But I don't know. But anywho, so erase that one, and we'll just say that right after Wayne's World goes Pineapple Express.
Okay.
It's stupid, it's dumb, but hey, you know.
Well, it's a good. Yeah, it's stupid and dumb, but I mean, there's plenty of movies that are stupid and dumb. You know, like.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say Wayne's World is pretty stupid and dumb overall. Like, what is the plot of Wayne's World really isn't anything.
No, the plot of Wayne's World is very fucking stupid.
Which is fine. I mean, that's like. I mean, to be fair, the plot of Wayne's World is pretty much just, we have our, we need to regain our all-access TV show from the man.
Yeah.
After we accidentally sold it to him. I mean, to be fair, he did scheme it out of them. I mean, have you seen UHF yet?
No, I haven't.
That's the one with Weird Al. Like they approached him and they went, Weird Al, would you make a movie in the 80s? Because he was everything then. And he went, sure. And then he basically made fucking the most avant-garde comedy I've ever seen.
I know it's something that I've been aware of, but I haven't seen yet.
It's good. It's just that, I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like, I don't think it's as funny as like some other comedies, but I still think it's worth watching at least once.
Yeah.
I don't think it's as good. I don't know how to like word it. Because the thing is, like, there's very strange things in that movie, where like he's like late for something and he goes, "What time is it?" And then like literally a hand with like a watch on it will like burst through like the wall and he goes, "I'm late," and like yell at the top of his lungs.
So is this your Freddy Got Fingered?
No, because I think it's Freddy Got Fingered. It's pretty. That movie he did not care about.
Oh yeah, that review episode I've seen with Mike and Jay. That was the only one I let happen because I was like, you know, I can't feasibly see a moment where I'll sit down and go, yeah, let me watch Freddy Got Fingered.
I mean, to be fair, I might watch it after watching that review.
I would consider watching after that review.
I would just watch it with someone. I couldn't watch it by myself.
No, yeah. So we'll also add that one to the list of the Texas watch.
Yeah, we'll watch Freddy Got Fingered. I know Alec also wants to watch it.
Also, we'll invite Alec down. We'll tell Alec to yeehaw him down.
I know Alec was trying to kidnap you to.
He was trying to, and I realized like if I have to drive cross country with Alec, as much as I do love that dear boy because he's a good friend of mine, I would probably murder him. because I don't trust him enough to not do something really stupid and put me in a bad situation.
Yeah.
Come on, just go to David Duke's house and ask to use the bathroom. What's the worst that could happen?
I mean, to be fair, Alec isn't doing much this summer now.
Oh yeah, I saw our poor boy got surgery.
Yeah, he's in the sling for like, I think he said, I mean I know he said 8 weeks, but I think it's a little bit longer.
He's gonna be out of commission, that poor gentleman.
Well, I know he said 8 weeks, but he also was like, even after the 8 weeks, he has to do physical therapy for like 2 or 3,
What
or
year is it?
like months.
Was it on a shoot or something?
No. He I think he got it in high school, but didn't. No one knew what it was, like what was like how his shoulder was fucked up. And then they pretty much told him, it could be bad, it could become worse, but it hasn't, and it also could not become worse.
But it did.
Well, no, it just, he doesn't know, yes or no, he has no, like, definite. So he just was kind of like, fuck it, I guess I'll get surgery.
Poppycock, I say. It's just a man trying to put a brother down.
Alec?
Sure.
Alec is the one that's trying to put himself down? I don't know where you're going with this analogy.
It was just a joke, and now I didn't think it through properly.
I just feel like it wasn't a good joke, Rob.
I didn't think it through enough. Number 13, you'll like Annie Hall.
Yeah, I mean, Annie Hall's always good. I don't know. See, that's the thing. I'm kind of like, man, now that you're saying it, I'm like, yeah, maybe Annie Hall should be there. Maybe it should be a little lower. I'm not too sure.
It may be lower, but it is.
It's a really good movie. It's one of those things where it's like, I don't think it ever like. I don't do like a big like belly laugh all the time. Like there's a few.
You know what? It's interesting. Most of these following ones are not so much belly laugh comedies, more just good comedies that either are just a great film and happen to be comedy, or just great comedies that happen to be pretty good film. Because the one right after is Big Lebowski at 14.
That's just good. I think, like...
It's good. It's a good movie that happens to also be very funny.
The thing is, when it's funny, it's really funny. When it's not funny, it goes into surreal, so it's visually interesting.
Yeah.
So,
like 13 and 14, I consider these two not to be overt comedies, but they're very funny and good and well made enough to at least be on the list.
I mean, to be fair, that movie is meant to be like a dark comedy. Like, all the Coen brothers shit is like dark comedies.
Yeah, well, except for No Country for Old Men. If you laugh during that movie, then something may be wrong.
I'm trying to think, but there is like dark humor in that movie, isn't there? Like
humor in this situation. It's just not like.
I'm not saying it's like it's a flat out laugh, but it's kind of like. Yeah. I'm saying like Fargo. There's funny shit in Fargo, but it isn't like.
Fargo's absolutely funny. I haven't seen that one in a while. I only seen it the one time.
Well, you have shit that's like.
Oh,
like all the Canadian accents are great.
Yeah, the wood chipper is admittedly kind of funny.
What's the one that's like where they have the it's not paint. When you have the ice cubes that are like they have blood on them and shit.
Oh yeah.
Like that portion. And it's like that isn't like funny on paper, but like seeing them like use the ice cubes to get like their food like in their drinks and stuff, but you know where it came from is pretty funny.
It's been a minute. It's been a while. I haven't seen it since
I'm trying to think. Like I kind of remember this because it was kind of like there's like human blood, like there's human like remains in these ice cubes, and then the police use it to like cool down their drinks. I don't know if that's from Fargo, but I know that's from a Coen Brothers movie.
It may not be Fargo.
Maybe that's Burn After Reading or something.
No, it's not Burn After Reading. I know it's not Burn After Reading. That one I at least remember.
That one is a comedy. That one I don't know.
It's fun, but it's not one of my favorite Coen.
Everyone really likes it. And I'm kind of like, I think it's average.
I think it's fun. I think it's fine. I was expecting something bigger, and it wasn't as much.
Well, I
But
expected something a little bit smarter almost, and then it just wasn't.
it's still very good. Brad Pitt does a really good job as just a very idiotic sort of gym worker. I do think the way he dies in that movie is one of the funniest things I've ever
Oh yeah,
seen.
that's funny. Like that's actually played for humor.
Yeah. But yes,
I want to see their
15.
hula hoop movie.
Oh no, yeah, their movie is pretty good.
Well, because the thing is, I know Sam Raimi directed it, like a portion of that movie.
Yeah, it's weird that they were all like best buddies living together in a house in the '80s. That's pretty like wild to think like all that talent living in one place.
Oh, I mean, to be fair, a lot of actors are the same way. They all fucking I think.
Oh no, I mean like on the filmmaking side, like because actors I know all actors live together at some point, but like I mean like directors and shit like that, like all that.
I'm trying to think. I mean, yeah. Well, because I know with the actors, it was kind of like, I know like Charlie Cox and like, and Loki, yeah, like whoever played Loki, I can't think of his name.
Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah, they lived together with someone else that's also like a part of Marvel, I think.
Yeah, I know who it is. I know who you're talking about, rather.
Yeah.
15. Look, 15 is one we talked about earlier. Top Secret.
Yep, Top Secret's always good. I think. The only reason I wouldn't rank it higher, even on my list, is that I've seen it too recently, almost.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Where I really liked it.
But I almost think it's better than, like for a straight up comedy, it's better than Annie Hall. Like I would probably.
I'd probably move Annie a couple down. Maybe. Actually, you know what?
Okay, here's a question.
Yeah.
No Bill Murray yet.
Honestly, it might be hard pressed to find a Bill Murray appearance on this list. I think any of these have a Bill Murray. And I think my favorite Bill Murray movie is like Lost in Translation.
That's not as much of a comedy.
Groundhog.
Yeah, it is. I mean, this is a personal thing. I'm a big fan of Ghostbusters, so it'd be hard to not put that on my list.
No, absolutely.
It would be in top 20 almost, not like.
It's also like I haven't seen Ghostbusters at least since I was a child.
Oh, that's a treat, Ron. I mean, like I know, like the thing is, it isn't. The reason why I would recommend it isn't necessarily because of Bill Murray. It's because of like all the all-star performances in that movie. Like Harold Ramis, just a laugh.
Yeah,
Harold Ramis is so good in that movie.
That one is one I definitely want to finally get to. However, there is one. I know I've been the common theme of today is like, oh yeah, I've been meaning to rewatch. One that I actually did have tentative plans to rewatch very soon. Because I haven't seen them since I was 10, since I watched it for the first time. But I know you would be someone who would be very excited to hear this. I want to rewatch the entire Back to the Future trilogy.
Oh yeah, those are great. I guess those are comedies too.
It's funny because I was watching I've been really wanting to actually watch the new documentary that they did for Michael J. Fox.
Oh yeah, that's when that trailer looked so good.
It looked so good, and there was a clip that went around Twitter. I guess it's out already. There's a clip that went on Twitter, and it was just like this great sequence of intercutting, and it was just like telling the story of him working on that show he was on.
Family Ties.
Yeah. He was working Family Ties in the day, and then at night he would go on to shoot Back to the Future 1.
Exactly.
And it was like really beautiful. It was a really beautiful sequence of editing because it would just it would just shoot this thing of him, like a double, doing all this stuff, him running around, but it would intercut between like him entering and leaving a scene in Family Ties, and then like him walking on the set, and then it'd be like the scene that he would do. He would use archive.
I should watch that. That sounds fucking great.
Dude, it was such a beautifully edited scene, like genuinely such an amazingly edited scene, and it was like combining the two, and it was talking about like just the chaos and the hecticness of working on both those at once, and I was like, oh my god, and I was like,
well, he was also just a teenager when he did that too, like
yeah, I'm doing that too, which is what, because I saw the footage of him on Family, it's like, holy shit, I didn't even think Michael J. Fox was that young when he was doing at least the first batch.
Well, he was like, I mean, he was quintessential the teen heartthrob,
Yeah.
Like I didn't to be fair, I don't think I realized it even when I was watching Back to the Future and was really big into it, like how big he was.
Yeah.
He's a lot bigger than what I used to think.
No, he definitely was, and I was just like, after I watched, I was like, shit, I haven't seen that I haven't seen any of the Back to the Future films, let alone the trilogy, since I was like 10, and I saw it on ABC Family for the first time, and at that point, I'd seen it maybe twice, or 3 times I had seen the films, or at least I'd seen the first 2 a couple of times up to that point, but I remember I watched the trilogy, I stayed all day, I watched the entire trilogy on ABC Family, I was like, oh, this is fucking great, and
Do you own them, Ryan?
No, I don't own them.
Oh, because like I own them. I own like.
Yeah, I remember the box.
What do I own? I own the 25th anniversary. So like that tells you how long ago I bought those.
That one I've been meaning to rewatch because I got it and now that I got it, I saw the thing. I was like, man, not only do I really want to watch Still because it just looked like a really good documentary I was interested in, and then I saw that clip and I was like, I definitely want to watch this. I was like, damn, I haven't seen the Back to the Future movies in well over a decade. I was like, you know what, those are definitely due a watch. Because if I love them so like a fantastical child, I can only imagine how much more I'd appreciate them as a full-grown adult who's now well engrossed into the film world.
It makes me appreciate Harold Lloyd a lot. Just because he's such a phenomenal actor.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very hard, I think, when he's gone,
Yeah, I was thinking about that about Martin Scorsese earlier this week. I was like, man.
Oh, when he did that, like when he said that thing.
Yeah, when he was like, I'm 80. He's like, I didn't understand what Kurosawa meant, but now that I'm 80, I now see what he's talking. I was like, that hurts so much to read that. And I was like, man, there's really like, I love film so much. There's the only person I know I can say loves it infinitely more than I could is Martin Scorsese, and he's such a champion about everything that has to do with movies, and his DNA is all over it. I was like, man, when he goes, it's going to hurt more than I'm willing to prepare for.
Yeah, no, he's just that old man that understands like movies. He understands what makes them tick. Very much how Kurosawa was by the end of his career,
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, he either is 80 or pretty much is 80. Even someone like when Steven goes, or when who else is like kind of in that age range? Like George Lucas, I would even say, because he's like an industry founder. Like he's like, I know he hasn't made like the most movies, but I would say he's almost the one that changed Hollywood the most.
Yeah, he I'm sure people would like. He's one people are definitely gonna miss when he's gone. Raimi is one I think of personally. Because
I'm a little bit away from like the only issue with Raimi is
he's a bit younger than them at least.
He's a bit younger. That's not an issue. I think my issue with Raimi is that he hasn't really made that much, and especially in the last 10 years, other than like Doctor Strange.
He made Oz and Doctor Strange in the last 10 years. Those are the last two.
Yeah, and like Oz really isn't it, and I mean, I like the Doctor Strange movie. I think it's well directed, but
as do I.
I don't really think it's necessarily a Sam Raimi movie,
That shouldn't be the one he rides out on. If he rides out into the sunset on anything, I just want him to do I just want any studio to just give him, I'm not talking about an endless budget. Maybe a couple.
Well, to be fair, he's someone who doesn't
The
need it, but if he did get it, he would do. I mean, what's endless? I mean, like to him, endless would be like $100 million, and he could make anything he would want.
Yeah, I'd say like
You
give him
know?
give him like maybe 50 million. Give him 50 million. Just let him do something wild. Let him go full Raimi. Let him have fun.
I mean, how much was the first remake of Evil Dead? How much did that even cost? Like 20 million?
No, that was like 10 million or something.
I
That
didn't even think it cost that much, but it looked like the
it would not have been that expensive. I promise.
I know that movie wasn't expensive, but it looked expensive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it had 17
In a good
million.
way, you know, like it looked good, like it looked expensive to me.
It had a budget of 17 million, and it grossed.
It had 20.
Let's see. The budget for Evil Dead 2, at least.
Oh yeah, that's nothing. That would probably been a.
Like it was like 3 million.
Yeah, like there's no way that would. Like if the first one, like he could make in the woods and like.
Yeah, the first one he made for a couple $100,000.
In like over like 2 weeks, like.
Oh my god! Apparently the Drag Me to Hell budget was 30 million.
Yeah. That sounds like.
That's super. That for some reason even that sounds low to me.
To me, that sounds like a lot.
I mean, trust me, it is a lot for a poor person. That's
At
a lot.
least for the time. Like I'm saying for like the time and like.
2009. Yeah,
I'm a little surprised he gave him that much.
Yeah, so 50 million might be a bit more. Well, 50 million is probably enough. Probably the most he's ever.
Well, he's directed blockbusters.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
I don't think like. I think that's reasonable. Like I still think that's reasonable. Like remember, he directed Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, the Spider-Man 2 budget was 200 million.
Yeah. In 2002.
Yeah, the Spider-Man 1 budget was 139 million. Spider-Man 3 got a $250 million budget.
I mean, those were big, like those are blockbuster movies that he made.
Yeah, so he'll be fine. He'll be fine.
He's gonna get a budget. Like he's not the one I would be worried about getting a budget. Isn't like.
Yeah, he'll be good. He'll be good.
He has friends in high places. Like I don't.
Yeah, if he needed to, he'll be fine. I just find it interesting that he's just taken a step back and just lent his name to.
Well, I just don't think he wants to do it. It's not.
I feel like if he got inspired enough, he could pop something.
I'm just a little surprised he doesn't do anything more. I mean, I almost think he did. The only reason he did Doctor Strange was two different reasons. One is he likes the character, and I think Kevin asked him. And
I think it's
with Kevin.
I feel like Kevin asked him for a favor. He's like, "Hey, please," and and he's like, "The fans would love it. Maybe it'll get you to do something." And he's like, "Yeah, sure, fine."
Well, to be fair, he did it because Kevin asked, and that. And to be fair, it's part of the reason why. I mean, I don't know how true to the quote he's gonna keep to it, but I mean, Kevin did just say it was so nicer to actually have a director that understands how to helm a blockbuster movie direct one.
Yeah, I don't know why he doesn't stick to that more often than now.
Well, it's because he wants to. It's a few different reasons. One is he wants more control of it, and it's also, I think it's also cheaper for them to get people that aren't big names.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, I think those are the people who are more interested are younger people. Like for example, I mean, like Tarantino himself said, he would have been interested if he was 20 still. Like he did straight up say, if it was still the 90s, he would have done a superhero movie. If they were doing superhero movies now, like they were in the 90s, he would have done one.
Imagine a Tarantino Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
My word.
Well, I mean, you remember in 2009, he was asked straight up by DC to direct Green Lantern.
Was he actually?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
They walked up to him and went, "We own Green Lantern. What, do you want to do something?"
He went, "Fuck no."
Well, I mean, I think he just was kind of like, he just didn't have any ideas. And in 2009, I mean, he's an old horse by then. Like, he's not gonna go
Nah, I'd say that he just entered prime by then because Django's him working in his prime,
Oh no,
as
but
is.
I'm not saying like as in he wasn't good or not in his prime. I'm saying like he he is old in the way he's not gonna relearn how to make movies.
Okay, okay, okay.
Like
Yeah,
he's not gonna take the studio notes.
yeah, I
You know
get
what
what
I
you mean.
mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm not
Uh,
saying like he's like worse because like the thing is like here's the thing: Martin Scorsese isn't gonna learn how to make a Marvel movie,
nor should he.
but maybe fucking I don't know, maybe John Watts would, maybe James Gunn would.
Maybe John wants to learn how to finally make a good movie. Oh.
Ah, I mean,
I joke.
well, the thing is, he's cutting his teeth on those movies. That's my only big issue with like people who like yell at him, and I'm like, to be fair, he's trying to like he actually cut his teeth on those movies, so he's better than me.
Yeah. Um. But yes. Back to the list. 16. Hot Fuzz.
Yeah,
It,
no, that's the one you would pick though over.
I thought about it. I'm like, would I consider Shaun of the Dead more horror than I would comedy? I would say they're both about equal, but I'd say this just stands in for any Edgar Wright movie. I'm pretty sure that I could swap out fucking Scott Pilgrim and put that one in.
That's
Matter of
what I
fact,
mean. That's why I was kind of like, man, would you not do
I'd,
Scott Pilgrim more?
I'd probably do Scott Pilgrim more because I do love that one genuinely more than I do Hot Fuzz. Not that Hot Fuzz isn't good. I just really love Scott Pilgrim. Actually, you know what? That's what I will do. I'll replace it with Scott Pilgrim. Or if anything, I'll just put Scott Pilgrim in its place and maybe move Hot Fuzz down.
I mean, I don't know. There's no wrong answer. It's just kind of
No,
like,
you're right. You are right there, though. But I was like, oh yeah, that's right. It's funny because I'm looking at this. I'm like, why didn't I think of that? I am a moron, aren't I?
well, the thing is like, I don't know, like all of his like, man, I like Baby Driver, but I guess it's not as much of a comedy as some of the other ones, obviously.
And it isn't his strongest work, I'd argue. It's fine, but it,
Depends.
I
I think in terms of actors, it might be his stronger one.
visually, it's probably one of his stronger ones.
I think
Or at
from
least,
acting,
or
I
at
think
least
it's stronger. Just because
acting.
they're more serious roles, not because of
Yeah,
anything.
John Hamm is really good.
John Hamm in anything is good. I don't know what else to really say.
Yeah, it's funny. Not to dive off real quick, but in 30 Rock, they just make a lot of references to Mad Men, and I'm like, oh man, I'm so glad that I at least watched one season of Mad Men before I started watching
Oh,
30 Rock.
you actually did watch one. You should watch all of it.
I was going, did I not tell you I started watching
I
Mad
didn't
Men?
know you watched Mad Men.
Oh no, you started watching Mad Men at some point. I was just watching Mad Men, and I was just like, oh yeah, this is fucking cool. And then
So good.
it's something happened where like at the beginning of season 1, I watched a couple of minutes into it, and I forgot what happened. But I just know that like 2 days later, I just started watching 30 Rock instead.
Ron,
I
you gotta watch more Mad Men.
oh I will get back to Mad Men. Believe you me, it's just I can tell you the particulars. I just don't know what happened in my brain. I just know that there was a Twitter thread going around of everyone posting their funniest, their favorite or the funniest Dirty Rock moments. I was like, oh man, some of these are really funny. I was like, maybe I should get to this. And then I had worked on a shoot with Desi that weekend, and I was just talking to some of the people around the set, and they were like, oh yeah, one of the things that's hard for me to watch is Dirty Rock with Alec Baldwin. I was like, oh yeah, well the only thing that's hard for me to watch is Departed, but Alec Baldwin plays an asshole in that movie too, so I kind of just realized it's just Alec Baldwin that just
It's weird. It's weird to like. I mean, to be fair, I don't actually think Alec Baldwin's all that. Like, I don't think he's like a good person, but I don't think he ever was a good person. So it's hard for me to be like,
Yeah,
oh,
he's never been objectively good. It just happens to be that he has really good comedic timing on 30 Rock. But anyway, like after having that conversation, I was like, you know what, maybe I'll check out this 30 Rock. I was like, I'll only check out a couple episodes, and then I shit you not, the day I started watching it, I went well into like 4 o'clock in the morning and just kept on watching 30 Rock episodes, and I was like, maybe the show has something here.
oh
And
yeah,
now
it's a good show.
it's been almost about a month later. I'm almost about to finish season 5. It's been only a couple of weeks, and I'm about to finish season 5. I'm addicted. What can I say? I love the show.
I mean, I thought you meant they were not going to watch it because we were traumatized by the shooting.
No.
I'm
I
kind of
just
like, why are you traumatized by that?
when I
You
see
weren't
Alec
involved.
Baldwin, I just go, man, sucks that he killed someone, because I would have really liked to say, yeah, Jack Donaghy is one of my favorite characters. Who goes, he's just an asshole.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean,
Uh,
like the thing is, I don't know. I mean, Alec Baldwin's such a weird person. I don't know.
Yeah, he just like posted a very quote unquote emotional picture of him finishing his last day on set on Rust, and him talking about like, oh, this is such a moment for me, whatever. And then like this next post on Instagram, it's like, God, I'm so happy I don't have this beard anymore, and it just so funny.
Maybe not make the joke the first day. Maybe
Dude, I was like, dude, could you not just wait a minute to post the picture that you needed to grow the beard for the film, and just, God, I'm so happy I don't have
I
this
probably
beard
wouldn't have said. I mean, if it was an interview, I might have said that, but not like on.
No, he just posted it on Instagram. He just did a post. It was just like he posted the picture of the family. It was like, oh, what was such a therapeutic release, and then the next post is him shaved, going, so happy to have the beard anymore. It's just like, Jesus Christ.
That's bad timing. I mean, or good timing and comedic timing.
Well, I mean, it was probably his comedic instinct just going, you know, it would be really funny right now.
I mean, to be fair, I do have those moments, but I choose not to act upon them if it's that bad.
Yeah, in case you murdered someone. or manslaughtered, as technical term.
It's hard for me. Like, here's the thing. I don't know the whole story behind it. And even then, because I heard it's his gun, too. But after hearing it's his gun, I'm like, I don't know. This story feels whack in every way.
There's too many people to blame. That's just the issue. There's too many people to blame. It's shitty on the prop master. It's shitty on the set, on the people on set, and shitty.
Because the thing is, I view it like this: guns on set have been working for a long time, and then the not Bruce Lee, but Brandon Lee shit happened. Then they changed the entire way they did it, and it worked very, very well until the people just didn't choose to do it.
Yeah, because morons started making movies.
Well, that's what I mean, because the difference is that they chose... the system isn't flawed. The issue is that they chose not to follow the system.
Yeah.
Because I know some people were blaming the film industry for even having guns on set, which I'm just like... No, guns on set are fine. It's just... They need to follow the regulation, which is put in place. They just didn't.
But yes.
I'm surprised Alec Baldwin even, like, I don't know why he would even bring his own gun to set. That seems weird.
He's just an interesting guy. And not interesting, just a peculiar gentleman. So replacing Hot Fuzz would be Pilgrim. So after Pilgrim goes, Sheldon Kumar, go to White Castle, 17.
Yeah. That's a good one. I mean...
It's just, I like
White Castle more than...
More than Guantanamo Bay, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I think that's the classic one.
Hard
to believe one of them was on House.
Yeah, I was just about to get into the fucking season with Cal Penn, and I stopped watching House. I don't know
why I was about to ask you, because I was kind of like, man, you're about to watch it, and then you didn't, and I was like, I didn't really watch this.
The same thing happened with me and Man, where I was literally the start of the season, like, you know what? I'm gonna step away right here for a second. I'll come back to this at a later point.
The issue is, I thought you just kind of stopped because you're like, I didn't like House in season 4, and I was like, I understand, Ron. I understand House isn't the greatest in season 4, but that finale of season 4 is so good that you have to at least stick for that finale.
I might go back once I'm finally done, because I stopped. The only reason I stopped watching House is because I was doing House and my Seinfeld rewatch at the same time. I was like, you know what? Let me commit this. Finish Seinfeld, and maybe I'll go to House. And then I finished Seinfeld. I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll do Mad Men instead. And I went to Mad Men, and I finished the season. And then I was like, you know what? Let me just pop off on 30 Rock.
Because I almost think, because both of those shows deserve to The issue with House is that it gets kind of bad. But at the end, the issue is I have a sunk cost fallacy with especially House. By that point, I was just like, I have to see it through.
Yeah, see, I knew the thing is, I knew by 4. I was like, you know what? I don't know.
4 is
what
good though. Like season 4 and the ending of season 4, pretty good. That's still worth watching.
Okay,
and it's also a shorter. It's also a shorter season, so it's like it's still worth it.
Also, the way 3 ends, where fucking Cameron, Chase, and oh fuck, why am I forgetting on his name now? Mike Epps' character.
Cameron?
No.
Michael Chase. Michael.
Chase, Cameron, House, and Eric. Eric something.
Eric Foreman.
Foreman. There you go, Dr. Foreman.
It's not Eric Foreman. It's just Dr. Foreman. Eric Foreman's from fucking that.
But his name is Eric. His name is Eric Foreman.
Is it actually?
Yeah, his name is Dr. Foreman. Eric Foreman.
Wait a minute. Isn't that the same name as the guy from that '70s show?
It is. It is.
Then why are they're also both on Fox and they both aired at the same time?
I'm not joking.
Why would the Fox execs let that happen? What the fuck?
Eric Foreman, actor House. You see, his name is Eric Foreman on House.
I never said you were wrong. I just thought that was very funny. More in hindsight. But yeah.
Maybe a smart filmmaker would put Mike Epps and Topher Grace in the same scene, just to put an Eric Foreman versus an Eric Foreman.
That would be pretty funny.
But yes, 17, Harold and Kumar go to White Castle. Both of them playing a role in House. John Cho was in like season 2 or something.
Yeah, he was just in one episode as like, I don't know, he wasn't a patient. He was.
Oh no, he had the sex kink.
He did have that.
That's who he was. He was a dominatrix guy. That's who he was. I can't remember.
Well, it was kind of funny when I saw him because I knew the other guy was in it too. So I was like,
Number 18 is Rodney Dangerfield's Back to School. Fucking hilarious. Laughed, riot, had a great time watching it. It's only low because I've seen it recently, and I don't know if I would put it higher or not. And I don't want to put it higher just because of recency bias. So I'm putting it here knowing that I'd probably change its spot at some point.
Yeah.
But Back to School, very fucking funny.
I mean, Back to School is very good. It's like, I don't know, it's just a classic plot. It's just a classic comedy plot of just dad goes back to school with his child.
Yeah, it's very fucking good. In
like
fact,
it's a good idea.
I need to get a copy of that soon.
I don't know why comedy movies just can't do simple plots like that anymore.
They're trying to come back. Jennifer Lawrence is doing a simple comedy movie now where she has to take a person's virginity. It's very funny.
What? What do you mean?
Yeah.
How's that simple?
Well, it's simple. It feels like something from the old days, or things that didn't have to be so complex.
So what does she have to do? Like, what do you mean? Like,
explain. Take someone's. This kid's parents hire her to take his virginity or be his escort before he goes off to college. He doesn't go to college as a virgin.
That could be a funny concept. I don't.
It sounds so stupid from like the late
it's a stupid concept, but at least it's like
it's open to humor. So
yeah, it's at least open. Like it's a simple like. I mean, I meant it more like a concept that's like larger, like that can lead to larger things. But I guess that is also something.
Yeah. But 19, we talked about Jackass 2. Just makes me laugh.
I mean, it's a good movie.
Borat, the first Borat.
Classic Borat. I'm surprised that isn't a little higher on your list because
It probably would be. I
love that Borat came back into the zeitgeist, the pop culture zeitgeist.
I'm looking at movies like Annie Hall and The Big Lebowski. I'm like, you know what? Either they should just not be on here completely, or they should just be much higher up or rather, they should be lowered because there's some other ones in the back half that are far more like just comedic movies and funnier. 21, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Oh, that's classic. I mean, I like that a bit more than even the original Vacation.
Yeah, I like it more than any of the other two.
Do you like the original? Oh no, there's more than two, Ron. There's
Or the one that I've seen with Chevy Chase. I should say.
Have you? There's
the first one, European Vacation. I know.
There's also Vegas Vacation.
That one I haven't seen.
That one,
Actually, I haven't seen European Vacation all the way through. I can't tell you if that's bad. I don't think it's that good though.
I know that what I did after I watched Christmas for the first time was I looked up what are the best ones, and I think they put
It's
Christmas at top, and then they put the first one right after Christmas.
I was gonna say it's weird because it's just Christmas in the original. Don't watch anything else.
That's why I just watched the original. I was gonna watch European, and then I saw nothing but bad reviews on Letterboxd. I was like, you know what? I'm fine.
Yeah, it's very sad because I'm like, it's such a good concept. It's very simple.
Yeah, but Christmas Vacation is a fun. I watched that movie the first time, and I could not stop laughing.
It's so good. It's the one Christmas movie I watch every year.
And you know, it was so good that it became a permanent staple in my Christmas watching. Every December it will be, because I've never had so much enjoyment on one simple movie. My favorite line in that entire thing. There's so many to choose from. One of my favorites is, "I got a year-long membership to the Jelly of the Month Club. Clark, that's the gift that keeps on giving." And it's delivered in such an earnest way that I could not fucking hold it together. And I was just so fucking done. I love that movie. It's great.
That movie, that portion's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it would be higher up, but I'd have to.
Is it too recent, you think, for you?
No, it's one that I know.
Or is it because of the Christmas element?
I think the reason is I don't know. Like, I feel like for movies this far back, I'd have to really go by movie and go, is it better? Like, I would put National Lampoon over Jackass 2, absolutely. Would I put it over Borat? Possibly.
I would, but that's just...
Possibly,
I think it's also... I've seen that movie so many times and it's still funny. That's kind of... That's the only reason why I put that really high up, is that if I can watch a movie more than, like... I don't know, I've seen that movie more than, like, 15 times, and I still think it's funny. I still think all of it works. And even with someone as awful as Chevy Chase, and it can still make me laugh, and it still makes me think Griswold is a real human being. Like, it doesn't make me think it's, like... My best way of explaining it is that it makes me not think Griswold. It makes me think Griswold is a more real person than just Chevy Chase.
Yeah, that's exactly how I think of it. You know what? You've convinced me enough. It's shot all the way up to 17. It's now behind.
I mean, to be fair, I've just seen it for a very long time, and I still think it's funny. It's shit.
Yeah. So right after that would have been Don't Be a Menace to South Central or Drinking Your Juice in the Hood. Again, another Waynesboro movie. It's a personal favorite of mine.
I haven't seen that one.
I fucking love it. It's so stupid.
I'm sure it's good.
It's so stupid and funny. I think it's their second feature length that the Waynesboro got to do. But it's just like a collective parody of like the '90s black making it out of the hood movies.
That's funny. That's funny.
Like, I watched it at such an impressionable age. Like, super fucking early on, I watched it, and it always made me laugh, and I was already so enamored with the Waynesboro, so, like, between that and fucking In Living Color and White Chicks, that it's just a favorite. It's just a favorite I can't shake. Much like the next one, Rush Hour 2.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I love it.
I mean, it's the best one out of the three. I mean, I don't know. Ooh. I don't know, maybe some people really like the first one a lot.
Nah, 2 is better. 2 is the best out of all of them. But I would put 1 and 2 as a 1 and 2 punch combo.
The only reason I like 1, just because it's Chevy Chase, or not Chevy Chase. It's
Jackie Chan.
It's Jackie Chan out of his natural element of being in the city, like his character.
Yeah.
So it feels different to him. So it makes Chris Tucker it just points in Chris Tucker's face of just being like it's like I know these streets, and then he just walks in and just does better. It just works so well.
I also think that the opening to Rush Hour 2 is just so funny, and every time I think about it, it kills me. And it's him at the bar and him singing "Don't Stop Till You Get Enough" is so fucking funny.
Well, I just know that for some reason, with 3, they were just like, oh, we want it to be more grounded, like the original, and I was like, the original wasn't grounded. I don't know why we...
Yeah, 3 goes off somewhere else, but I won't...
I don't mind it. I'll watch it. I think I think I have one or two more watches of 3 in me. I don't know.
I'm biased too because 3 was one of the few, not one of few. I should rephrase that. It's one of many memories I have of my family as a kid collectively going to the movie theaters to go watch something, and because we had seen 1 and 2 so many times as a family, like we saw 3 was coming out, we're like, oh yeah, we're gonna go watch this, and we went opening weekend, and it was such a fun day, and then we saw it, and we like, it wasn't a good movie, but we still laughed.
I mean, it's not like an unfunny movie. There is funny elements.
Yeah, it's more personal. I personal reasons to not like 3.
The only elements that I really just don't care for is when they're lusting over fucking the little girl from the first movie.
Yeah, it's weird.
That feels weird.
Done. Yeah, it's weird. You know what? That's a funny leeway into 24, lusting over young girls that are Asian.
I don't like, well, that are Asian is fine.
It's a Woody Allen movie. I don't know if you've seen it. It's called Love and Death.
I haven't seen that one.
I'm telling you, funnier than Annie Hall. Not better, but funnier than Annie Hall.
That's fine. I mean, to be fair, Annie Hall isn't the funniest movie of all time, so that isn't too surprising.
But it is like.
When did he make this? Was it like in his 80s?
75. 75.
Okay,
so,
that's like kind of prime. I consider that prime time for Annie Hall or for Woody Allen.
It's so fucking funny, man, and it's a very simple story. It's basically like a parody of the like those Russian, what are their Russian novels? What are they called? The ones from like the 70s.
Oh, I don't know.
Basically, it's basically just this guy who's shipped off to war even though he doesn't want to be. It's a very comedic thing, and he's in love with his cousin. It's so stupid, but it's just like some funny jokes, and it's him and Diane Keaton, and really it's because of Diane Keaton.
Oh, Diane Keaton's always good. I mean,
she sells the hell out of this movie. Like it might be, like she's just so fucking good at this movie. It's so amazing, and it's also just like it's just really witty. And it's so good, and I hate that it's Woody Allen who made it.
That's my only issue with like a lot of like when you're like, oh, Woody Allen made this. I'm like,
I hate that it's Woody Allen.
Well, how many more like? Because the thing is, I can give him passes, but how many more passes can I really give him?
No, he only has passes. The problem is he makes incredible movies, but he's also a human piece of shit. So every time I watch him, I go, I don't like the guy, but goddamn it, he could make a movie. That can't be disputed. I mean, people can dispute it and people have. Orson Welles, famously dunked on the man as he should. But
I forgot he dunked on him.
But yeah, Love and Death, very funny. I actually would recommend it. It's a very funny film. 25, technically the end of this list, aside from the ones that we added on because I realized, oh shit, this isn't on my list, and it should have been. But 25, the last thing that was on the list beforehand, Black Dynamite.
That's great.
It is one of my favorite films ever made, straight up. It is so fucking funny. The only reason why it's on 25 and not higher is because I just saw it within the last year, or like completely for the first time, not just in pieces.
To be fair, that is a you movie.
And I watched it in pieces for the whole time, and not only was it there was this part that I had to pause to laugh. It happened several times where I had to stop the movie just to laugh because I couldn't because I just couldn't hold it.
I sell the drugs.
I'm come here to declare drugs on anyone who sells drugs in the community. A Black Dynamite, I sell drugs in the community. That part fucking nails me. The one that I 5 minutes is putting it too light. It might have been 10. I legitimately just could not. I had to wait just to completely get it out of my system and then continue watching the movie. There's a scene where he's bringing I think the love interest back to a safe house or something, and and he's like reciting this line to her, and he's like, oh, everything's gonna be all, and then like some lady comes out of the room and finishes for him. He goes, bitch, I didn't even have to look at him to know who it was. He just fucking goes off on her, and it's so random. And it's so funny, and it just kills me every time. But Black Dynamite, Ben, give me one moment. My pops is calling. Okay. Give me a sec. I'll call you right back.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got.
But yeah,
Oh, my bad. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. I just heard yeah.
Oh no, my dad just came home. He was calling me, but he was on his way home. He was calling, asking me if anything. I was making light of his very obvious efforts of covering his ass, but not really. It's like, yeah, I'm calling just to make sure you guys don't want anything. And I heard the key opening. I was like, you're already here. What can we ask for? He's like, exactly.
Exactly. You don't need anything.
Props to him. He did it. He did it exactly how I would do it. I'd call it right, just to give myself just enough leeway where if there was something that needed to be done, I'd probably be able to do it, but not long enough to where because there's just so much time open, they go, oh well, now since you have the chance, X, Y, and Z.
I just didn't know if he wanted to get out of the house.
No. He was out. He just came back from doing. He just came back from doing something. But he was. But we all know how to. We all know our buttons. We all know how to properly fuck with one another. At least
execute them.
Yeah, we know how to ask for things, or exactly when to ask for things. We're a smart bunch in the Brent household. And by smart, not very, but we're savvy. We're cunning. But yeah, Black Dynamite. It's definitely gonna shoot up by the next time I watch it.
I mean, it's a good movie. It's really good.
Yeah, it's amazing. And then the other ones are just ones that I don't know where to rank them yet. They're Jerk, Wet Hot American Summer, History of the World. I think I might take off Dazed and Confused. I think the more I think of it, it's not necessarily a comedy. There are funny moments in it, but it's not a comedy. It's just a movie.
I mean, yeah, it's just a strange. Like, it's not a bad movie. It's just strange.
No, it's just
I just was more strange of how high up it was. That's more what I was.
I'll be honest with you, but I may have originally made this list a point when I was not sober, or not in my right mind, maybe.
Fair enough. I just thought it was a little high on the list.
I may have made this list when I was probably stoned or something, and I left, and I had never went back to it. That'll explain where there's some glaring oversight.
Because I don't know. I think I really like the movie Stripes.
I haven't seen that one.
I would recommend. That one's pretty fun. Because it's just like, imagine Bill Murray and Harold Ramis enter the military in the 80s. John Candy's in it, and he mud wrestles someone.
The story of a man who wanted to keep the world safe for democracy and meet girls.
Yeah, pretty much.
Everyone has it at 3.5 so far, I've seen.
Well, the thing about it is, like, there's like a moment where they get like a super tank at the end of the movie, because it's like in the middle of the Cold War. But it's quite literally just an RV, because like the fucking budget of the movie isn't very high. So it's really funny because they're just in an RV that fucking is like a tank.
Judge Reinhold. Oh, another guy.
I think John Candy's also in it. So.
John Candy's in it. I just saw Judge Reinhold and I was like, oh shit, Judge Reinhold.
Yeah.
Star of the Santa Claus.
yes, he is. Who else is But yeah, that's a good one. I think Ghostbusters is worth a watch just to see how you feel.
It's a part of the things I need to watch list.
Just again, because I just want to see your opinion, because I'm kind of like, I think it's really clever and really funny, at least the first one.
Yeah.
Two I have a soft spot for.
Yeah. Oh, I know you have a soft spot for it. So
2 isn't good, but it's.
And you wouldn't urge me unless if it weren't for good reason. You wouldn't urge me if it wasn't for good reason. Yeah,
because that first one's so well, like, the script itself is so well put together that it's like, I don't know. I've seen I think regular media has talked about it, but like, I don't know.
They have.
Their script is just, that script for that movie is so well put together that it's just like, everything is led up to. Everything is really funny. There's like weird one-off jokes that are in there, like
there's the ghost that gives Harold Ramis head.
Yeah, like that's like almost the weirdest thing that happens in the movie. That doesn't really like it just doesn't make any sense, but it's still funny, so they just left it in there.
I think the thing that stopped me from getting into it, at least especially during high school, was that the 2016 one came out and it did not look good.
That's bad. Yeah, don't watch that. Like,
oh no, don't worry, I'm not watching.
I almost don't even think. To be honest with you, they're almost not related. Like it's it's almost like they don't exist in that universe of characters.
It was just like I saw that it was coming out, and I was like, you know what? And it looks so good. I was like, you know what? I just think I want to stay away from anything Ghostbusters related for a while, even if I work. I just wanted to stay away.
Well, it's weird because I know they did Afterlife, and I know they did. They're doing a sequel to Afterlife, apparently.
Yeah, they are. Didn't they bring someone back from the dead for Afterlife?
Yes.
Yeah, that's fucking dumb.
And we all know who it is.
Yeah, Bill Murray.
No. The one that's much worse. And that was the reason why we thought we wouldn't get a third Ghostbusters movie, because this person died. To be fair, it's the only one out of the cast, so it's Harold Ramis.
Oh, Jesus.
It's just stupid. I think what's worse is that they brought him back as a fucking ghost. I'm like, why?
That seems very much in bad taste, but hey, you know.
To me, it feels like it, but you know.
When the true money train starts to chugging, who am I to?
Like, I don't know. Like, I couldn't. Like, the whole movie is based on like they're Harold Ramis's kids. Or they're his grandchildren, I guess. Which is like Finn Wolfhard and the girl. I can't think of where she's from.
I can't wait for when Finn Wolfhard is no longer in movies.
Why? He's not bad. He's not bad.
I'm just tired of the stream.
He just was everywhere for like 2 years, and then he just is nowhere.
God, man, I'm tired of that dude.
I don't know. He didn't do anything.
He didn't, but I'm just tired of him, man.
I'm just tired of this person that didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, he's just doing his job, but I couldn't give a fuck about his job.
That's what I mean. I mean, here's the thing. I mean, like, I'm just kind of sick and tired of Stranger Things. I kind of wish it just ended this last season, because I was like, oh, I'm excited for this last season, and then they didn't end it, and I was like, why?
I just want all Stranger Things to end, because I'm tired of it, Ben. I don't want any more. I don't care about Millie Bobby Brown or
who I actually care about is like the older people in the show.
Oh, Winona Ryder and
yeah, I like those characters a lot, and I like those actors a lot. Like even what's his face? The guy that plays the police chief.
Oh, David Harbour.
I really like him. He's a good actor. He's funny. He should be in more things.
Well, they tried with Hellboy, but that movie stunk.
Oh God, have you seen his post about Hellboy?
No, nor do I really care.
well, he said something like, you know, there are days when I have a really good day, and I come home, and I'm just feeling really, really good, and I'm like, life can always just go up, can it? And then I look on my wall, and I see a poster to Hellboy. And it puts me right back in my place.
Well, at least he's being honest.
I mean, to be fair, yeah. Like, I like him as an actor. I just wish they gave him... He's very good at, like, things that aren't comedic. I don't know why they wouldn't. Like, they could put him in a drama, and he would do very well.
Do you think he has the acting chops to pull off a drama?
I mean, in Stranger Things, when they let him do it without him seeming like an asshole, it works. Like, the first season is just him getting over the loss of his daughter that he lost to cancer. Like, it's a man that's broken. Because, like, the thing is, he used to be, like, a cop in a big city. And then he left to be in the small town away from his... Like, because I assumedly he got a divorce from his wife. his ex,
Yeah,
and then...
what would you do if you had a fine piece of woman like Winona Ryder waiting on you?
I mean, that's the other reason I'm just kind of like, man, it gives everyone hope if fat schlup like David Hopper can get Winona Ryder. I don't.
Oh, is it like my George Costanza?
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, I like George Costanza.
He's not an unattractive fellow that Jason Alexander, George Costanza. He's got something going for him. It's those beady eyes.
Well, that's what I mean. I mean,
it's his beady and his stout confidence.
I mean, there was a funny thing on Twitter that was just being like, like they were talking about like how like Elaine is hot, and I went, or like people were saying Elaine wasn't hot or something, and I was like, what are you talking about? Elaine's hot.
Elaine's the hottest woman the hottest person on that show.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, George has a little bit of riz.
George has riz. George tries.
What about Kramer?
No, Kramer has the stout body of a young, hot Swedish boy. You know.
Well, he also has the fucking like that weird charm.
The Kavorka. He has
the Kavorka. Yeah.
You can't. No one can not talk to him.
That's what I mean. If you have the Kavorka, I mean, I don't know.
He was just a natural good. But no, yeah. Elaine hot. George not that bad looking, but the fact that he got Marissa Tomei, it's a little insane.
I think you were just upset. You were upset because I remember you were like, you said something about him getting Marissa Tomei.
I was just more so peeved that like, well, not peeved. I was just like, how? Because I have a massive...
You were pretty upset at the time. You were almost like, I'm gonna quit the show.
Because I couldn't believe that such a fucking fraud like George Costanza was like the exact type of Marissa Tomei. I couldn't believe that this is where the show was going. And but the thing is, at the time, I didn't know that I was George Costanza.
Well, that's what I mean. That's kind of why I'm like, now it's like your ultimate fantasy.
Oh no, yeah, because I realized, I was like, wait a minute, I'm an idiot, I'm inadequate, I'm involved and neurotic, I am all these things that George knows himself to be. That's why I was turning off blindfold unconsciously. I was just too afraid to myself. And now I know who I am.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot.
Well, that's why I'm kind of like, Ron, I don't know why you dislike him.
No, he is me. I him.
You should just understand.
And Alec is Kramer. You would probably be I want to say Jerry, but Newman maybe.
Newman.
Where your morals are compromised easily, and you just like to just be there. You're not Jerry, where all these things happen, but you like to connive. You're Newman.
I don't know why I have to be Newman.
Who would you want to be?
I could be Elaine.
You think you could pull off Elaine?
I think I could.
Alright, you're Elaine. That's
cool. Elaine gets into predicaments all the time.
She does. Well, I mean, you don't have a putty situation. I think the closest to putty you'd have is Jules. I think that's her name.
Oh no, not Jules.
Jules. I stole your Jesus fish. Jules is something. I still think that the universe, living in Fredonia has only proved to me more and more that the universe not only is a conscious thing, but it has such a very, very specific sense of humor that if you don't get in on it early, you'll just spend your life being miserable. And I realized very quickly that you have to learn to have a sense of humor like the universe does, because there's no possible fucking way that after such a long, harrowing shoot into the middle of the night, the first person we find at a Denny's, granted, this has been years after I've ever stepped foot in a Denny's since leaving college, or leaving Fredonia, who is it that tends to our table?
Yeah, I was very upset. I can't even remember what I asked for.
It was something. It was like a burger or something.
Well, I asked
simple,
for
but
burger, and I asked for I asked for like a side, like a certain side.
she didn't bring you the side. She fucked
She
it up.
brought me rice.
Oh yeah, you asked for fries, and she brought you rice, and you just ate it. And I was just like, Ben, did you ask for rice? And you went, no. I don't want to talk to her, so I'll just take it. Oh my god. Make matters worse, that wasn't even the last time I would bump into her.
I was like, what would I need rice with a burger? Why would I eat this?
Why wouldn't you ask the clarifying question of rice? Are you sure? Did you say rice, or did I mishear you?
Well, when did I say rice?
You said fries.
Fries.
But I'm sure that because you're Elaine-like charmed, she just heard rice.
That's the reason.
And she said rice, and she was like, okay, rice, got it. I want to know what was the look on the face of the cook when she got told all these orders, and she goes, yeah, I'll have this burger and a side of rice. I know they looked at Jules for a second and said, rice or fries? No, rice. And you going, okay, fries or rice? Are you positive? She said rice. It's like, all right, paying customer knows best.
I did. I didn't ask for it.
You didn't, but you still ate it. I would have asked.
If it was any other waitress, I would have asked, but.
Is it because you just didn't want to have to talk to Jules again?
Yes, but she still talked to us. So what was the difference? Maybe I should. Maybe if she came over and I asked, I was like, man, I really didn't want rice.
What really bugged me was that she saw that we ordered, and we're all just so tired and defeated. She has the audacity to just keep on talking to us, and was like, hey, you mind leaving? Go put it in that order so we can eat and go back to our place.
I should have. I mean, we were at the end of the year. I could have told her off, I guess.
You were owed it, damn it, from freshman year.
I don't know if I was owed it.
I was owed it for ruining those 2 weeks of Red Time where we had to shoot anti-motivational speaker and fucking dad rap jokes battle.
That was very bad. That was bad for a lot of different reasons.
It was a low stakes idea that turned to just fucking.
The dad jokes was the bad part about that.
It was you rapping and Jules.
I can't rap. I don't know why I was involved in this.
Because we're the only 4 people who showed up to shoot that day. No one showed up to shoot. And I was like, well, I guess I have to be in it for the obvious reasons.
Not because of that. You just so happened to show up. I don't know why E.T. didn't have to do it.
I don't know. I just wanted anyone else
I think it was E.T. who was there.
E.T. might have been the one who shot or something. I don't know. All I know is
I would have changed.
We got stuck with the short end of the stick, and we had to shoot it. It was terrible. I remember it being bad when we shot it, and I remember it being even worse when we saw it. Because we saw it, and I was like, oh my god, this is terrible.
It looks really bad. It was just not good. Because we also didn't write the rap. Like, did we write the rap during the thing?
We did it day of, maybe.
Well, I didn't write it, because there's no way I could write a rap. I don't even know how you even do that.
Jules came to the shoot and brought these raps for us.
She's the one who wrote them?
Yeah, I remember. She wrote them.
No.
And I looked at these and I was just like, well, not only does none of this rhyme, but none of this is good or funny. None of these are dad jokes.
Raps don't necessarily have to rhyme. I mean.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know I was talking to the hip hop degree master over here.
I mean, they don't have to, but to be fair, it's probably much better that they do. I mean, look, I could have understood if she rhymed sky with sky. I could have lived with it.
It was nothing pained me more than having to recite rap lyrics written to me by a white woman, and then that pained me more. If it were a funny white woman, I'd take it. I'd understand. If Julia Louis-Dreyfus wrote raps, I'd recite it because I know she's funny. The odds of it being funny, pretty alright. Tina Fey, if she wrote it for me, I'd go, you know what, odds of this being funny are pretty high. I'm alright. But Jules' whole thing is not someone who I would consider funny, nor nor does she have the possibility of being funny. So I just had to sit there and take these beatings on my soul. It's funny, Ben. Slavery ended in the 1800s, but that night, for a moment, it was back.
For that one moment.
And I had to live through it, being forced to shoot on a day I didn't really want to shoot, being on camera when I really didn't want to be on camera, and saying these words that were so awful I genuinely could not bear myself to say them. And trying to be on beat, mind you, when there was no beat. And I have natural...
We didn't even have, we didn't have anything.
No, we had to make up the beat as we went along, and it was terrible.
Well, we also couldn't have one rolling when we were doing it because of just how it works.
Yep, so we had no beat going into it. We had nothing to work off of. It was awful. Awful. And Jules was there laughing and smiling like it was...
Oh, yeah, she was laughing, yeah.
And I just had to sit there while Whitey stood there laughing at...
Whitey!
No more, man. And from that day forward, I took my suit and I dropped it in the trash can. I said, I'm Spider-Man. No more. From that day forward, I swore that I would only act on the skits that I wrote. And wouldn't you know it, Ben? From that day forward, no skits that I wrote.
There's no more sketches that you wrote.
No more sketches I wrote ever made it to air.
Oh yeah, they didn't.
Maybe one or maybe a couple.
I mean, fair. If you would have stayed, you would have been handed down in Fredtown.
If I don't know. I think it was ending, but I think.
No. If you would have stayed, I think they would have. They just knew you were leaving.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, it wasn't even discussed. They didn't even know I was leaving until when Haley graduated and all of them. And I was like, oh yeah, no, I'm not staying. I think I mentioned to it or something. Because I think Emily was also going to stay there. They probably would have left it to Emily, but I know they wouldn't. I think if I had asked Brendan, hey, would it be cool if I kept Fredtown going, do you want it to die because everyone else is gone? I feel like if I asked and they believed in me enough, they probably went...
I don't know. They probably would have... I mean, if you would have asked, if you would have shown interest, I think they would have let you done.
I think they would have.
The issue is that they quite literally, when Fredtown died, they just made a different Fredtown, and I'm like, okay.
When I feel like if I had stayed and I had enough interest, I probably would have asked Brendan, hey, listen, I know they're leaving, and I know it's a show you created, and it's special to you, and you know the people you created are here anymore, but if you want, I can I'll take the reins for it. And I know Ryan was still there. He had a position in the TV station. I probably would have just been me, Ryan, and Mac.
Well, the only reason Ryan left was because of creative decisions.
Ryan left because they fucked on my skit, and that still bothered me to this day. Ryan was like, I told Ryan the skit, and he was like, oh, that's pretty funny. And then we did it, and it was funny as hell when we were making. Well, not funny as hell, but it was pretty funny when we were making it.
I understand why it was cut the way it was. I don't know. I just.
I think I understand it, but I would have liked a heads up, not watching it and going, well, what the hell is this? And then me texting Ryan going, hey, is that the version you did? And because I know you were doing other things, and you're like, no, that's not the version I did at all. I went, Arf? What do you mean it's not the version you did? And then we both subsequently found out that Haley chopped the skit down to, the unfunny bits.
Well, the thing is, you can't... The issue is... if you were already going to cut it, you might as well not even have done it. That's my opinion. Because the thing is, if you... the sketch in its own right of just OJ or not OJ is just not... You need to go with certain jokes, and then you can't do it. The joke itself is already kind of a bad joke, so you need to understand that every other joke after it has to work.
Granted, I didn't... The thing is, it was poor on my part because I didn't really... Because we had laid down a base idea, but I didn't really write anything because I was like, well, the people I casted are pretty good at improv, so I just assumed here are the very hard things we need to meet. It's just these three people will be behind a curtain, and I'll be the last one. Because they see a white hand, they go, oh, it's OJ. It's definitely OJ. And they'll see, and they go, nope, not OJ. And the entire joke is based off of one stupid line that OJ Simpson said, where he's not, I'm not black, I'm not white, I'm OJ. That's the what this is based off.
I mean, I do
that's
like
what
that saying.
Based off. And that's the entire joke. And when they finally see a person of color's arm, they go, well, it's clearly not O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson can't be a person of color. And they go, well, technically they're right. It's not O.J., but for all the wrong reasons. But that's still, honestly, the only reason why that skit existed is because I still really wanted to do a skit that touched on how awkward it was that I was the only person of color in that entire fucking crew. And it was really funny to me.
I mean, to be fair, there was really no person of color in
Fredonia.
No, there are people of color in Fredonia. I was meaning the TV studio.
Yeah, there weren't. I was one of very few. Me and Dustin were pretty much the closest things to, well, not the closest, well, technically I am black, but the closest things to people of color in the entire thing. And you know what sucks even more? Mm-hmm. One of my last few ideas, one of my last few gasps of really trying to get something through on Fredtown was I wanted to do an episode of Fredtown that was done in February, where it was the Black History Month episode of Fredtown, where because it's Black History Month, I got to dictate an entire episode of Fredtown, and it was me basically getting reparations through making like all these skits and shit. No skits were ever made in general, but I really wanted to do it because I thought it would.
What would you have done?
All I needed was the okay, and I would have written. I guarantee I would have written skits for it.
I mean, it's a funny concept. I'm not against that.
It's been so long, so I can't remember this.
I just didn't know what you would have written. I know you said that, and I was just kind of like, you need more to back that up, because I don't know what else you would have written for that.
All I know is that I mentioned it as a joke with Taylor, and then Taylor was like, "That's actually not a bad idea." And I was like, "I know, wouldn't that be kind of fucking stupid?"
It'd be really funny if you were just like, it's like SNL, and you became the host for that month.
Yeah, or just like, hey, it's Black History Month, and I know this TV station. Basically, the whole thing would have been like, there's not a whole lot of representation. People call them the TV station here in Fredtown, but I want to do something for Black History Month, and it would have just been me doing really like just exploiting all the stupid like racist things of like Western New York that I've witnessed, or just like general stupid white people shit, and just going off on it tenfold. It basically would have been Blazing Saddles, but with a lot less money and a lot less funniness. But it would have had the spirit.
They would have had the spirit.
Making fun of white people. That would have been there. That would have been present.
Fair enough, I guess.
It was a half-cooked idea, but an idea I still believed in.
I mean, you can still technically do it, just not in Fredtown.
Well, then what's the point? All I wanted to do was make white people uncomfortable in Fredtown. That's all.
Why in Fredtown in particular?
Because I can't make white people I don't know uncomfortable. Then I'll be thinking.
You can in real life.
Well, I can, I do, but it's just if I know them, it makes it a lot funnier to me. That's the only reason why.
It's only funny if I know them.
Yeah, if I do it to them and I don't know them, fine, good. It's a chuckle I get at the moment, but a laugh that lasts forever is knowing that. Oh yeah, I used to sing slave hymns to Ben during.
You did.
Just to throw him off course, and it would be funny to me. It's still funny to me. So I'd go, "Thank you, Master, thank you," and you'd hate it, you'd detest it, and I'd hum it to you during fucking exams. You'd be like, "Ron, I'm begging you, please. I'm trying to take this test." And I go, "What's that, Master? You want me to shut up now? You're right, Master. I'll shut up." Didn't I try to explain it to Jake? But I think you and I collectively called an audible and said, it's nothing, don't worry.
Oh, well, yeah, I was kind of like, that's something you probably should have. Well, I don't know. I don't remember that, because I feel like she would have left.
I think we brought it up briefly, where we brought up me humming something to you, and I was like, well, I have this thing where I really like making white people. I think we briefly mentioned it to Drake, but I didn't go into specifics of me going, well, thank you, man, at any given time.
I feel like I don't know how she would have reacted. I don't know.
Her reaction probably would have been of shock and complete like, I don't know if I can laugh, and I would have been like, no, it's funny, trust me.
It's funny, trust me, I'm the one who made it up.
I also want to know what the hell was the impetus. Because as funny as that it is to me in theory, I can't remember where the hell that I got the idea to just start doing that shit to you. Or in general.
Well, I don't know. You just did.
It was just born out of something, I'm sure. It's probably just being really annoyed I was surrounded by white people all the time.
Well, you said that, and I was like, oh, okay. Well, I remembered when the opposite happened, when Alec got you one. When he talked about the Inquisienzo system.
See, that was on me for egging on Alec for joining in on the joke, but not me realizing stupidly like, oh shit, if I do that, I'm going to the opposite. I just knew that I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna exaggerate for effect, because I know it'll get a laugh at everyone. But it wasn't until a bit into it I was like, wait a minute, oh shit. No, I've fallen into Whitey's trap. This is what he wants me.
I mean, to be fair, Alec already knew what he was doing. Alec knew that he was like, I wonder if Ron's gonna figure out that.
It's funny because I was blindly doing it, but only to make myself and to make you guys laugh. But it wasn't until a bit into it I was like, oh shit, I'm probably not doing myself any favors right now with what I'm. But I was like, well, I committed this far, so I might as well keep going into it. And then when I went to wait a minute. It just when it became abundantly clear, it's like, okay, wait a minute. Now this is no longer funny. Now it's just ridiculous. But still funny all the same.
You're just like, wait a minute. I'm Hispanic. I went, yes, Ron. We all knew.
We all were aware. Ugh. But oh man. But buddy, I had a great time catching up with you, my friend.
Yes, I did too.
I look forward to the Saturday talks. Hopefully, they don't have to be just once a week, but look forward to speaking to you later on in the week, my friend.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully, you have a good rest of your evening.
Yeah, you as well.
All right, but I hope you have a good night, buddy.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system. 5188888.
Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, I am back. Playing another marvelous game. Oh. The big sad. I've done so much. Alright. Alright, well I'm gonna end it here.